Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the visiting Flyers of Framingham High School and the hosting Brookline High Warriors. We're starting this off a little bit early. The game's not set to start for another half hour, and Framingham's not even here yet. But today is a special day. Today is Senior Day. And so the Brookline High baseball team honoring the senior members of their class of 2026 here at the end of the regular season of this 2026 campaign. So as you can see, we're a little too far away to hear what's being said by Brookline High head coach Brendan O'Connor, but they are honoring their seniors today, among them Jimmy DiPaolo, Max Kaufman, Daniel Leary, Felix Hom, Gabe Knowles, and Zach Rothman, Finn Collins, and Wally Lawrence. Coming out first, looks like it's Jimmy DiPaolo, number 5, team co-captain, starting shortstop until his season cut short, unfortunately due to a wrist injury. And then the next one they're calling for is number 8, Max Kaufman. Kaufman, he's been in and out of the lineup this year as a part of Brookline's outfield rotation. He's made some big plays here and there for the team. And next up, number 11, Daniel Leary. Mostly been on the bench this year. He's had a few opportunities to play as a courtesy runner, I believe. And next up, number 13, Felix Hom, co-captain, Brookline's starting catcher for the last 2 years after manning a spot on the left side of the infield for the first 2 years of his varsity career. Since being promoted to the varsity team late in his freshman season, he's been a mainstay on this Warriors squad and been a big producer on both offense and defense. Next up, number 16, Gabe Knowles. Knowles mostly been on the bench this year, but still a member of the team. Still helping them through the ups and downs of this 2026 season. Next, number 18, Zach Rothman. Got some spot duties at first base at different points throughout this season, even if most of the games he's been on the bench. Been using his size during the opportunities he gets at first base. Next up, number 21, Finn Collins. Collins, like Rothman, a backup first baseman, able to use his size at that first base position. Actually got an RBI bases loaded walk in that big blowout win against Sharon earlier this season. And rounding it out, the team's third co-captain, number 24, Wally Lawrence. Lawrence was a big contributor for Brookline's offense in the first half of this season as the rest of the team was kind of struggling to find its form at the plate. And while his bat kind of tapered off while his teammates' bats got hot, Wally's always shown an ability to contribute defensively, whether as a starting outfielder out in center field or as a pitcher, a position he hadn't really played for this team before this season. He has stepped up in a big way for a team that has struggled with depth at the game's biggest position. I'll have more to say about these guys at the conclusion of this broadcast, but for right now, that is the pregame Senior Day ceremony for the Brookline High Warriors baseball team, class of 2026. Jimmy DiPaolo, Max Kaufman, Daniel Leary, Felix Hom, Gabe Knowles, Zach Rothman, Finn Collins, and Wally Lawrence. As they wrap that up, we'll soon be getting the game underway. Still got some warm-ups to do. Framingham is here now, which is good to see. Got looks to be a few jabs being thrown back and forth. Good-natured jabs, but still some jabs being thrown back and forth in the live chat. Wesley Gonzalez saying, I got respect for Brookline, but Framingham is winning. And Joanna Fricky saying, it's nice to hear the clapping and cheering for the Brookline seniors. Good luck to you all. And okay, Wesley, we'll see how well your juju is working today. Go Warriors. So we got fans of both teams tuning in for this one, which I like to see personally. I love seeing a good mix of everybody. Whoever it is you're rooting for, I like to see it. Sorry about that, folks. Just wanted to lower it down a little bit, make sure none of my graphics are blocking anything. As not only is this a big game for both of these teams as they're fighting to try and vault themselves into a playoff spot in the power rankings here. But also, and not only is it senior day, but also a nice little note for me is that this broadcast is a sponsored broadcast. This baseball broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Baseball senior parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honeydew lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And all that information about Brookline Proven, our sponsor, can be found in the description section of this video down below, the link and the phone number. I always say I appreciate the folks who support the local businesses that in turn support local themselves. Brookline Proven, one of the local Brookline businesses that's been very supportive of me and the work that I do as a local business. And so I hope you guys, in turn, will support them. Just filling in some starting lineups here. So we got the starting lineup for Brookline. Unfortunately, while I was trying to get my equipment set up here, here at Parsons, I didn't quite have time. Well, also, Framingham just wasn't here yet, so I wasn't able to, I wasn't able to get their lineup. I do have their roster. I do have that, so I'll be able to identify the players as we go throughout this contest. And I'll probably just have to fill in the lineup as we go. I do remember some of the stats from the last time these two teams played, as this is actually not the first time I've covered these two teams. And they actually had quite the unique matchup the last time they played. When they played out at Bowditch Field in Framingham, their game was on April 15th, but that's actually not when it ended, because the two teams played 9 innings back on April 15th, and then the game was called due to darkness, with the score still tied at 5 apiece. So they had to postpone it because they couldn't get the lights on at Bowditch Field for some reason. They had to postpone it, and then they picked it up in the middle of spring break week on April 21st, the day after Patriots Day. They played 2 more innings, and then Framingham won that game on a walk-off. It was a walk-off sac fly that won that game. Let me just pull up the stats for that one. It was a walk-off sac fly by Brian Chagnon of Framingham, driving in Michael Chagnon. And so we'll see how these teams play things out here today. Brookline coming into this contest riding kind of high, actually, as they have won each of their last 2 contests. The walk-off win on Saturday against Weston, and then the 5-1 win on Monday against rival Newton North, led by a stellar 13 strikeout performance from pitcher Harris Hodgson, which tied Brookline's single-game strikeout record for this decade in the 2020s that had been set on Patriots Day this year by Nikolai Rabiner. So Brookline riding pretty high. Those back-to-back wins have pushed their record up to 6-13. And as of yesterday morning's update to the MIAA Division I Power Rankings, it pushed Brookline up to 30th in the Power Rankings. So if Brookline doesn't suffer a gargantuan loss here to Framingham, then they should be on their way to a playoff berth in the state tournament. Framingham, meanwhile, the Flyers have fallen on some hard times. They've lost 3 straight, dropping their record down to 6-10, and they find themselves standing at 37th in the power rankings that were updated yesterday morning. So Framingham fighting for their playoff lives here at the tail end of this season. Not sure how many more games Framingham's got left, as ordinarily it's a 20-game season at the high school level, but some teams just can't get 20 games on their schedule. You know, for one example, the Brookline High boys volleyball team is only playing 17 games. Or no, they're only playing 16 games this regular season. And Framingham, actually, there's no update for how their game last night against Boston Latin School went. So I'm not sure what their record actually is. But they're playing Brookline here today, and then they got one more game. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can find it. Oh, you know what happened? It probably didn't happen yesterday. I'm so silly. It was raining. That crazy thunderstorm that we had briefly yesterday probably ruined the field. They probably didn't play. So Framingham might be trying to fit that one in, as they're going to want to get in as many games as possible to try and boost their power ranking. They're playing Brookline today. They're playing at home against Canton tomorrow. So Framingham trying to generate some momentum here in this one. Once again, thank you all so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, here to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity senior day baseball game here at Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. The Brookline High Warriors taking on the Framingham High Flyers here on senior day. This broadcast brought to you by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. You can see the link and phone number for Brookline Proven down in the description section of this video down below. You can also see the link and phone number for our local charity spotlight for today, the Brookline Community Foundation. For over 100 years, the Brookline Community Foundation has been a trusted partner, supporting Brookline by investing in organizations and initiatives that help create opportunity and promote equity for everyone who lives, learns, works, and plays in our community. Among the foundation's many grant programs is the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School, which provides graduating BHS students with scholarships to help fund post-secondary education. Your help is crucial to supporting these Brookline youth as they embark on the next steps in their educational journeys. Visit brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442 to learn more about the BCF Scholarship Fund for Brookline High School and how you can make a difference right here in Brookline. Once again, that's brooklinecommunity.org or call 617-566-4442. And you can find that link and phone number in the description section of this video down below. You know, again, it is senior day for Brookline as we think of these soon-to-be graduating seniors. You know, think about, maybe contributing to some scholarship funds. You know, might be a little late to help out the current class, but future class of graduating seniors could benefit in a big way from your support. All right, so I don't have the starting lineup for Framingham today, but I do have the starting lineup for Brookline, so I might as well read that out here. Leading off for Brookline today, the center fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Batting second, the catcher, senior co-captain, number 13, Felix Hom. Batting third, the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. Batting seventh, the left fielder, senior, number 8, Max Kaufman. Batting eighth and starting on the mound for Brookline today, senior captain number 24, Wally Lawrence. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carbio. Head coach of the Brookline High baseball team is Brendan O'Connor, with assistant coaches Colin King, Ryan Nealon, and Will McKay. So while Framingham warms up in the field, I think I'm going to take a break, mute my mic, run a YouTube ad break, but don't worry, folks. I will unmute this once it seems like the game is about to get going, so don't go away. All right. Framingham wrapping up their warm-ups. Brookline will be taking the field soon for the top of the first inning. And I was able to get Framingham's starting lineup. I'm going to give that to you now. Leading off for the Flyers today, the second baseman, number 1, James Winders. Batting second, the right fielder, number 15, Nick DeRosa. Batting third, the catcher, number 21, Colin Walsh. Batting cleanup, the shortstop, number 6, Jack Maud. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 22, Ryan McAuliffe. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 26, Johnny Coutinho. Batting seventh and starting on the mound for Framingham today, number 4, Michael Chagnon. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 3, Charlie Jessman. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 10, Zach Deptula. And the head coach of the Framingham High baseball team is Matt Milano. And you can see the umps at home plate discussing things with the coaches. The umps noticeably wearing some lighter colors today, which is very understandable given that the temperature is reached 90 out here in Brookline. And as we're playing on a turf field today with next to no shade cover, it's only going to be even hotter, especially for the pitchers. I mean, look at how dark that turf mound is. That's going to be attracting a lot of heat right at their feet. Oy. Definitely don't envy the players in their full baseball uniforms having to run around in this. But at least they got shade in the dugouts, which is more than I can say for us fans here in the stands. But a slight home field advantage in a unique kind of way for Brookline, as they are wearing their white home uniforms, while Framingham their dark blue road uniforms. So Brookline gets the slightly less hot temperatures. You know, it makes you wonder. You know, back in the way before, when they were deciding the uniform rules of the game, if the tradition of the home team wearing white started with a summer sport like baseball, with the team being like, no, we want to wear the lighter colors. We want to be cooler out there. It's going to be so hot. I mean, it's a long shot, but, you know, it would be funny, if nothing else, if that's how that tradition started. All right, Brookline coming out onto the field to warm up for the top of the first inning. Starting on the mound for Brookline today, number 24, Wally Lawrence. You can see Lawrence's season stats on your screen right there. He has made 6 previous pitching appearances this season. This is only his second start on the mound this year. I believe he started a couple weeks ago against Natick, but that's the only start he's had. He's got a 1-0 win-loss record, so a lot of no decisions for him. 16 1/3 innings pitched through the previous 6 appearances, a 4.29 ERA, a 1.96 WHIP, and 11 strikeouts. So Lawrence will be hoping to get Brookline started on the right foot here in their senior day game against Framingham. And again, I'm going to double check my stats, but I am almost certain that before this season, Wally Lawrence never pitched for Brookline before this year. Yeah, he didn't pitch last year, which, doesn't surprise me since he was injured for the first half of last year with a rib injury that he suffered while playing travel soccer in the off-season. So Lawrence, he really stepped up in a big way for a team that was in desperate need of some pitching depth this year, taking on whatever role the team needed him to, like a good senior captain should. Leading off for Framingham, the second baseman, number 1, James Winders. First pitch of the ball game, and it's connected on, but it's fouled off the netting for strike 1. Winders, in that April game against Brookline earlier this season, he went 2 for 4 at the plate with a double, a walk, a sacrifice bunt, and a run scored. As that one is going to miss to the outside for ball 1. I love having this view from behind home plate. It's a view we don't get to do a lot here at the high school level. But man, you can really see where the pitch goes, as that breaking ball did not break enough for Lawrence. Misses inside for ball 2. Heater right down the middle, sends it through the gap. A diving snag by Bollinger, trying to make the throw in time. He caught him! Oh, wow. Hugh Bollinger starting off the game with some electricity there, as he robs James Winders of what looked to be a leadoff single for sure. Whether it got through the gap or was simply an infield single, it looked like Winders was going to get it, but Bollinger said no. First pitch to Nick DeRosa, hits a grounder, stabbed at by Thaddeus Gameau. 1 pitch, 1 out. And now 2 down for Framingham here in the top of the first. Now batting the catcher, number 21, Colin Walsh. Both DeRosa and Walsh in that April game went 1 for 5 at the plate with a walk. DeRosa scored a run, and Walsh's courtesy runner, Chris Mavrikis, scored a run as well. And Walsh lifts one out to center, and it's going to be a can of corn for Connor Fitzgerald, as Lawrence puts the Flyers' bats down in order in the top of the first. A good start defensively for Brookline. Really had the tone set by that big diving play by Hugh Bollinger at shortstop. Turned what looked to be a surefire leadoff single into a simple 6-3 groundout. And from there, Lawrence and the rest of the defense carried the day, or at least carried the half inning, as they put Framingham down in order. Due up in the bottom of the first will be Connor Fitzgerald, Felix Hom, and Hugh Bollinger. Starting on the mound for Framingham will be the lefty, number 4, Michael Chagnon. He was not one of the, I think, 4 Framingham pitchers that Brookline faced back in April. Not sure if he pitched for them in either game last year. Just going back through my archives real quick. And yes, he did pitch. He was in Brookline's first game against Framingham last year. Chagnon was the starting pitcher. Ended up with a loss as he gave up 3 earned runs through 2 1/3 innings pitched on 3 hits and 2 walks with 4 strikeouts. So he'll be hoping for some better results here today against the Warriors, as Framingham fighting through a jam-packed final week of the regular season, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak and push themselves into a chance at making it inside the top 32 in the power rankings. As I don't think Framingham has enough games on their schedule to get themselves back up to 500, as they currently sit at 6-10. You're fine, don't worry. You're good. All right, the warm-up throws are done. And now it's Brookline's turn at the plate. Leading off for the Warriors, the center fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, he's been pretty firmly cemented in the left field spot for Brookline, but whenever Lawrence has to take a turn on the mound, Fitzgerald has proven himself very capable out in center field. Of course, he caught the 3rd out of that first inning, had his biggest outfield play in center field out in Walpole earlier this spring. He had a nice diving catch in that game, although that was a Brookline loss. Against Framingham last time, Fitzgerald went 1 for 4 with a triple, a walk, and a run scored. First pitch, and he lines a screamer up the third base side, and I think that might have hit someone's car in the parking lot. Strike 1. You can see Fitzgerald's season stats at the bottom middle of your screen, just above our sponsor graphic for Brookline Proven, as that pitch going to miss high and away for ball 1. Fitzgerald, so far this season, he's got a batting average of .226, an on-base percentage of .385, and a slugging percentage of .323. Has a team-high 13 walks, a team-high 6 steals, a team-high 21 runs scored, and now he's got a chopper over to third. Fielded by Coutinho. Throw to first is not in time, as the speedy Connor Fitzgerald legs it out for the infield single. Really impressive for Fitzgerald, not just in general legging out an infield single, but doing so on turf where the ball moves faster. An impressive feat of speed from the Brookline leadoff man. Now batting the catcher, number 13, senior captain Felix Hom. First pitch fooled him inside, strike 1. Important to note that Chagnon is a lefty, meaning he's got a quicker pickoff throw to first. Hard ricochet, but Fitzgerald is going to take second, taking advantage of the throwing error there. Looks like we had a brief disconnect of our Wi-Fi, but looks like everything is okay. If any important plays get cut out, just let me know. 1-1, the count to Hom with a runner now in scoring position. I mentioned Hom's slash line stats, but also he is tied for the team lead in doubles with 4. 3 of those doubles coming in one game in that blowout win against Sharon. And Hom also second on the team in RBI with 15. Trailing only the guy in the on-deck circle, Hugh Bollinger, in the RBI mark. That pitch does catch the high outside corner for strike 2. Hom behind in the count here at 1-2. Okay, looks like we have reconnected. Okay, I had to switch Wi-Fi networks. Apologies for that, folks, but I think we only missed a couple of foul balls. Count is 1-2 to Bollinger here. 1 out, runner at third. And Bollinger lifts one. This one might stay fair, but no. Everything curving to the right off the end of Bollinger's bat. Still giving Chagnon a battle here. Count still 1-2. And this one he lifts into center field. It's caught out in center. Fitzgerald going to tag. This might be a close play at the plate. Fitzgerald dives in and slides safely for the first run of the ball game. The base running prowess of Connor Fitzgerald on full display this inning. Going to second on a throwing error, going to third on a steal, and then coming home on a sac fly that, I tell you, I feel like 9 out of 10 runners get thrown out on that play. That was a really effective throw from center field. Thaddeus Gameau hits a slow roller over to short. Long throw is going to beat him to the bag for out number 3. That is going to end the first inning. I hadn't even gotten a chance to mark the second out on my score graphic there. But that will end the first inning at the end of 1. Brookline on top, 1-0. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up for Framingham, Maud, McAuliffe, and Coutinho. During this break between innings, we got another note in the live chat from Cheryl Bollinger. Hi, Jesse. Bollinger's checking in, San Diego watching. I hope despite our brief Wi-Fi snafus, you guys were able to catch a glimpse of Hugh Bollinger's sac fly to center that drove in the game's first run, and even more so his highlight-worthy play at shortstop in the top half of the inning. During this break between innings, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS senior baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829. Thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And find all that information, website, and phone number in the description section down below. First pitch from Lawrence, going to skip in the turf on the outside part of the plate anyhow. Ball 1. At the plate to lead off for Framingham here, the shortstop, number 6, Jack Maud. And he lines a shot up the middle for Framingham's first hit of the day. Flyers got robbed of a leadoff hit in the first inning, but nothing stopping Maud's liner that time. Runner at first, up comes the first baseman, number 22, Ryan McAuliffe. First pitch, it's a grounder right back to Lawrence. Bare hands it, and he's just going to go to first. Might have been able to get the lead runner if he had caught that on the first attempt, but blocked it well to make sure they got the batter. So perhaps not a sac bunt, but still worked effectively like a sac bunt as McAuliffe moved the runner into scoring position. Now batting the third baseman, number 26, John Coutinho. That one, a high ball 1. Coutinho certainly wants to make an impact here as his throw from third base got beat by Fitzgerald in the bottom half of the first. Hits a line shot right at second, caught by Carbio, throw to second. Oh, not in time. Maud just barely got back to the bag. A nice catch by Danny Carbio. Almost turned 2 on the play, but not quite. Now batting the pitcher, number 4, Michael Chagnon. It is pitcher against pitcher. As that pitch from Lawrence going to miss to the outside, ball 1. Michael Chagnon wasn't in the starting lineup for Framingham the last time they faced Brookline. Came in as a pinch hitter in the 11th inning and got the leadoff walk and scored the game-winning run on the sac fly by Brian Chagnon. Here he's got a 2-0 count. Got some cloud cover very briefly out here at Parsons Field. That's nice. Got jammed on the inside. Foul tipped it to the back. Strike 1. We got one of our patented baseball grandmas, Mary Walker, in the live chat saying, "Go Brookline from Grandma in Groton, New York. Have really enjoyed watching the games this season. Thanks, Jesse." And jammed inside again. Fouls it off up the first base side for strike 2. Thank you as always for tuning in, Mary. Hope the weather hasn't been as surprisingly scorching up in New York as it has been down here in Massachusetts, or if it has, I hope you've been able to stay indoors in some nice AC. 2-2, the count to Chagnon. 2 outs, runner at second. And this one lifted into left center. If it drops, could be a run, and it's going to drop. Just barely out of reach for the outfielders, as it's an RBI double for Chagnon to tie the ball game. The RBI double from Chagnon. He now stands at first as a potential go-ahead run here after driving in Maud. Now batting the left fielder, number 20 actually, Charlie Jessman. That one hits the zone for strike 1. Jessman was listed as wearing number 3, and that was the number he wore for Framingham last time they played Brookline, but he's wearing number 20 today, so, we move forward with it. That one missing, low and away, ball 1. Jessman against Brookline last time, he went 0 for 3 with a walk. Was pinch hit late in the game by Xavier Gonzalez. That one misses low and away again, ball 2. Lawrence pitching that fastball to the outside corner against Jessman. 2 outs, Chagnon at second. No courtesy runner for the Framingham pitcher. Fouls that one off, strike 2. Two and 2, 2 outs. Runner at second here in the top of the second. 2 runs scored between the two teams combined as we're tied at 1. This one lifted foul up the right field side. Goes off the roof of a nearby building there. Jessman stays alive at 2 and 2. That's a wild pitch for ball 3. Runners taking off. Hom throws down to third, not in time. Chagnon advances on the wild pitch. Go-ahead run for Framingham, now 90 feet away, with a full count here to Jessman. Felix Hom talking with his fellow senior Wally Lawrence as they're trying to get out of this inning here, prevent a 2-out rally by the Flyers. This one lifted over the head of Gameau into right. Framingham takes the lead on the RBI single from Charlie Jessman. Man, and that's got to be tough for Lawrence, being 1 strike away from ending the inning 2 batters in a row and instead giving up back-to-back RBI hits. Now batting the center fielder, number 10, Zach Deptula. First pitch misses low, ball 1. Deptula, last time against Brookline, he was 0 for 4 with a walk. This one jammed inside and fouled to the netting behind the plate. Strike 1. Runner teeing off for second. It's a low ball. Throw down to second from Hom. Oh, dropped on the tag. Carbio couldn't hold on to that one. And it's a successful steal for Jessman. Once again, Framingham with a runner in scoring position. Some gusts blowing out here at Parsons Field as that one misses low and away for ball 3. Lawrence starting to struggle with his control a bit here in the second inning. This one fouled back into the netting, and we've got a full count here. Lawrence has not issued any free passes so far today, but has a full count here. That one fouled off, and Deptula stays alive. Reaches out, hits it off the end of his bat, and it's a simple pop out to Carbio at second. Boy, I could feel the sting in his hands off that contact from all the way up here. Deptula pops out, and that ends the second inning, but Framingham fighting back and taking the lead for themselves. Our score at going into the bottom of the second, Framingham 2, Brookline 1. Coming up in the bottom of the second for Brookline will be Hoffman, Tandon, and Kaufman. Now batting for Brookline, the right fielder, Number 3, Eli Hoffman. Curveball moving from inside to outside for strike 1. Hoffman last time against Framingham went 0 for 2 at the plate with a walk, a sac fly, a sac bunt, a run scored, and an RBI. As that curveball fools him again for strike 2. On the season for Hoffman, as you can see in the bottom middle of your screen, he's got a slash line of 175, 327, 225, 2 steals, 5 runs scored, and 3 RBI. That one curved but did not drop. High ball 1. Swing and a miss. Hoffman chasing the high heat that time after so many breaking balls. And he goes down on strikes. Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. That one misses high for ball 1. Tandon's been in and out of the lineup this season for Brookline. He's had his struggles at the plate, but he's been a guy they can go to when they need an infielder at the hot corner spot as he fouls that one off for strike 1. Tandon with, by my count, just 1 base hit this season, but it was a very big one. A game-tying RBI double in the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs against Weston on Saturday. Takes a low ball 2 there. Tandon did not play in the last game against Framingham, so no stats to give from that one. That one catches the outside corner, strike 2. We've seen on a few pitches the ump being a little bit generous with the outside corner so far today, but you know what? It's important to know what kind of zone the ump is giving you. It's on the players to adjust to that. Tandon hits a slow roller over to second, fielded clean, and thrown to first for out number 2. Two down, bases empty. And up comes the left fielder, senior number 8, Max Kaufman. That one hits the outside corner, strike 1. Kaufman against Framingham last time. He went 1 for 5 with a big 2 RBI single that helped Brookline come back from an early deficit to force extra innings. Chases the breaking ball low there for strike 2. On the season, Kaufman with a slash line of 156, 357, 156, 5 steals, 8 runs scored, and 7 RBI. And tips that one in the glove, strike 3. Brookline goes down in order in the bottom of the 2nd. So after Brookline got off to a strong start in the 1st, the 2nd does not go their way. At the end of 2, our score, Framingham 2, Brookline 1. It'll be the top of the order due up in the 3rd for Framingham. Winders, DeRosa, and Walsh. Lawrence back on the hill after a tough 2nd inning where he gave up 3 base hits, including 2 RBI hits with 2 outs. Can the 3rd be a rebound inning for him? A reminder, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS senior baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. You can see the link and phone number for them in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. Leading off, the second baseman, number 1, James Winders. Nice breaking ball from Lawrence to catch the inside corner. Strike 1. That one hangs high, ball 1. Winders last time up almost got an infield single, but got thrown out by Bollinger from the shortstop position. That one doesn't curve quite enough, inside, ball 2. That one missing high, ball 3. Lawrence ran into some trouble with 3-ball counts in the second inning. Hasn't issued any free passes yet, but that's going to be his first, as that'll be a low, ball 4. And you don't want to be giving up a leadoff walk there, as that does significantly boost the chances of your opponent scoring a run. Now batting the right fielder, number 15, Nick DeRosa. First pitch gets away from Hom, and Winders will take second. That one either a passed ball or a wild pitch. For now, I'll call it a wild pitch, but it might be one I check back on later. I mean, depending on whether the question of earned runs comes into play. Lawrence turns around, checks on Winders. Oh, excuse me. DeRosa, his last time up, grounded out to first. First baseman Thaddeus Gameau pulled in, thinking bunt, as DeRosa was thinking bunt, but pulls away, as that one misses for ball 2. DeRosa trying to move Winders to third. And that one fouled off. Strike 1. A 2-1 count here. Shows bunt, lays it down. Lawrence tracks it. Throw to first. Barely in time. They do get the first out, but DeRosa does his job with the sac bunt. That was a very well laid down bunt. It almost turned into a bunt single. Now batting and taking a low, ball 1, the catcher, number 21, Colin Walsh. Walsh flew out to center his last time up, and a fly ball to the outfield would pay off for Framingham here with a runner at third and 1 out. That one skips in the turf for ball 2. Lawrence having some struggles with his control the past couple innings. This one sliced foul. Long, strike 1. That one misses high and away, ball 3. 3-1 the count to Walsh here. 1 out, runner at third. And that is going to be ball 4. Second walk issued by Lawrence, who doesn't typically issue a lot of free passes, as they're going to have number 16, Xavier Gonzalez. The courtesy runner for Walsh over at first. Now batting the shortstop, number 6, Jack Maud. First pitch, Gonzalez goes to second, and it didn't matter. Hom didn't even make an attempt on it. So the potential for a double play eliminated immediately. Runners at second and third, 1 out for the cleanup hitter. That one misses low, ball 2. Maud got a single up the middle his last time up and came in to score. The first run of the game for Framingham. He's trying to add more to the Flyers' mark here. Some gusts are blowing out here at Parsons. That one just misses high and in, ball 3. Last time against Brookline, Maud had a big day at the plate, 2 for 5 with a double, a steal, 2 runs, and 2 RBI. He's already got 1 run scored today. And it's a 4-pitch walk from Lawrence, loading the bases as Maud trots down to first. Head coach Brendan O'Connor coming out to talk to his pitcher. As that walk could potentially help Brookline if they're able to turn 2. With a force at every base now. But it also runs the risk of, more guys on base, more potential to score runs. Tough inning of control for Wally Lawrence. Now batting the first baseman, number 22, Ryan McAuliffe. McAuliffe grounded out to the pitcher his last time up. Hits a grounder over to second. There's a chance. Carbio dropped it. Throws to first to get McAuliffe. And a run will score. So that'll go down as an RBI ground out for McAuliffe. Almost an inning-ending double play. But Winder's able to score as Framingham now up 2. Strike 1 to the third baseman, number 26, John Coutinho. That one misses outside, ball 1. Coutinho popped out or lined out second his last time up. Tips that one in the glove, strike 2. 1-2, Lawrence ahead in the count. 2 down, runners at second and third. Timeout called. Now we reset. Curveball does not curve enough. High ball 2. Lawrence trying to fool Coutinho with a strikeout pitch there, but didn't get the curve he wanted. This one lifted out to right. Hoffman tracking it, and he's got it. That one got a little scary towards the end, but ultimately it is caught out in right field by Eli Hoffman. Tough inning of control for Lawrence, but ultimately surrenders just 1 run. Moving to the bottom of the third, the score, Framingham 3, Brookline 1. And it'll be the 8-9 one-hitters, Lawrence, Carbio, and Fitzgerald. Leading off for Brookline here in the bottom of the third, the pitcher, number 24, senior captain Wally Lawrence. First pitch, just high, ball 1. Lawrence and Chagnon faced off in the opposite direction back in the top of the second. Chagnon getting a 2-out RBI double. Lawrence hoping for some payback here. That one hits the zone, strike 1. Lawrence, last time against Framingham, he went 0 for 6 at the plate. He's hoping he can reach base against the Flyers here. Although he did reach base on an E5 against Framingham last time. On an E5 that did score 2 runs, but when it's on an error, you don't get the RBI. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Lawrence late swing on the breaking ball, and he goes down on strikes. Now batting the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carbio. First pitch in the zone, strike 1. Carbio, against Framingham last time, he went 0 for 4 with a walk. Foul tips that one, strike 2. On the season, Carbio with a slash line of 171, 277, 195, with 2 steals, 9 runs scored, and 6 RBI. That breaking ball does not break enough. Outside, ball 1. High ball 2. Carbio not giving him an easy strikeout here. Count now 2-2. Swing and a miss. Oh, wait, was that tipped? No. It was weird because they were saying, no, you can't run that one out. I wasn't sure if it was a foul tip or a drop third strike or what it was, but they say, I think they said that Walsh dropped it on the exchange from glove to throwing hand, and so that didn't count as a dropped third strike. Back-to-back Ks for Chagnon, and we rotate around to the top of the order. Now batting the center fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, the only Brookline batter who reached base during the first turn through the order against Chagnon. He got an infield single to third. As that breaking ball comes in high for ball 2. Fitzgerald then went to second off a pickoff throwing error, then stole third, and then came home on a sac fly to center. That one, well, not sure I agree with that call, but it doesn't matter what I think. The umps are the ones who make the calls, and we have to respect that. Strike 1. That one fouled off. Strike 2. Fitzgerald hits a slow roller over to second, fielded by Winders. Throw to first is in time for out number 3. A lot easier to beat the throw from the left side of the infield rather than the right. And that play shows exactly why right there. Brookline down in order for the second inning in a row. And at the end of 3, our score, Framingham 3, Brookline 1. Due up in the top of the 4th for Framingham will be the 7-8-9 hitters Chagnon, Jessman, and Deptula. A reminder, this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS senior baseball parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And you can see that link and phone number for them down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section down below. It'll be pitcher against pitcher to start us off here on the top of the 4th. Leading off for Framingham, the pitcher, number 4, Michael Chagnon. Chagnon got a 2-out RBI double his last time up and then came in to score as he takes ball 1 in the turf there for a 1-0 count. And hits a slow grounder off the glove of Gameau, and Carbio not there to recover it. Chagnon reaching on what might be ruled an E3 there, as I feel like that should have been fielded by Gameau. Runner at first. Up comes the left fielder, number 20, Charlie Jessman. Jessman got an RBI single his last time up, stole second, but was left stranded. Lawrence takes a look at first, but doesn't throw. First pitch to Jessman is high for ball one. That one skips in the turf, bounces away, and Chagnon thought about going, but decided against it as Hom recovered that one pretty fast. That one gonna miss inside, ball three. A 3-0 hitters count to Jessman here. But that one does hit the zone, strike one. Breaking ball breaks just enough to catch the inside corner. Gutsy decision on the pitch there from Lawrence, but it pays off as he gets a full count. This one fouled off as Jessman stays alive. Still a full count. That one tipped away by Jessman. Hom wishing he could have gripped that one, but it would have been tough that far outside to close the glove around that foul tip. Jessman still battling here. Swing and a miss. Lawrence never gave up on the fight against Jessman there, and he gets the K. And that is the first strikeout of the game for Wally Lawrence, as he's mostly been pitching to contact today. Now batting the center fielder, number 10, Zach Deptula. First pitch high for ball one, a pickoff throw. Bounces away, but safely towards second base. Needless to say, Chagnon got back safely. Runner at first, one out. That one skips in the turf, got away from Hom and got away enough that this time Chagnon will take second. Deptula popped out to second his last time up. Hits a grounder, goes off Lawrence's foot. Carbio recovering, throw to first in time. Good read by Carbio, and now they're going to check on the pitcher, Wally Lawrence, as he took that grounder in the foot. That is the second out of the inning, and Chagnon does move to third on the play. Lawrence shaking that one off immediately. Now we're back to the top of the Framingham order for the third turn through the order with the second baseman, number 1, James Winders. Breaking ball missed. Maybe low there for ball one. Fastball bounced right back to Lawrence, and Lawrence, he's just going to run it out himself. The rare one unassisted ground out. And that ends the fourth inning. No score this time for the Flyers. And now the question is, can the Brookline Bats answer as they still trail by 2. Well, if there's going to be an inning for Brookline to answer back, you almost feel like it's got to be here, as 3 of their top hitters, Hom, Bollinger, and Gameau, will be due up here in the bottom half of the inning. Leading off for Brookline here in the bottom of the 4th, the catcher, senior captain number 13, Felix Hom. First pitch going to miss, high and away, ball 1. Hom went down on strikes his last time up, trying to get something going for the Brookline offense here as they trail by 2. That one catches the outside corner for strike 1. Again, you've seen the strike zone this ump is giving you. You've got to adjust to that. He's being generous with the outside corners today. And you know what? As a batter, it's your job to adjust. That one inside and low for ball 2. Hom fouls that one off out of play along strike 2. Breaking ball, and Hom jammed inside. Fouls that one away. Again, Hom standing on the inside part of the batter's box. Getting jammed inside a couple of times the last couple pitches. And tips that one off the catcher's face mask. Walsh giving the thumbs up. He's okay. We're glad to see that. And Hom still alive with a 2-2 count. Ump talking to Chagnon a little bit. Now Hom calling a brief time. Maybe waiting for this gusting wind to die down, but maybe not as it's still blowing. Tips another one off the face mask. And Ham's still battling here at 2-2. Looked like Chagnon fooled him a little bit with the breaking ball, but Ham able to drop his bat just enough to get a piece of it. And that breaking ball does not break enough. High ball 3. A full count now to Ham, as this has been quite the battle between pitcher and hitter here. And he slices another one foul. And it's still a 3-2 count. A high pitch count on this at bat, as we try take 2 of the payoff pitch. And again, Ham gets a piece of it. He's just refusing to go down. If I'd known it was going to go on like this, I would have kept count of the foul balls. This has been a high number for Felix Ham. I saw someone holding up 4 fingers, but I swear it's more than 4. And that's another one. This one getting comical. Still 3-2. Oh, tipped into the glove that time. And after all that, Ham does go down on strikes. Raises Chagnon's pitch count a bit, but to come out of an at-bat like that with a strikeout certainly boosts the pitcher's energy. Tough break there for Ham and the Warriors. Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Bollinger drove in Brookline's only run of the game so far with a sac fly to center back in the first inning. And he lifts one foul up the right field side. A lot of his swings have been going foul in that direction this game. We saw him foul off a number of them back in the first. Brookline just struggling to fully square up the pitches that Chagnon is giving them. 0-2 the count. That one misses low and away. Bollinger thought about swinging but decided against it. Ball 1. And Bollinger fouls that one off the third base side to stay alive here at 1-2. A lot of foul balls this inning from the Brookline bats. But they got to put something in play. That one wild from Chagnon, ball 2. That one misses low and in, as Bollinger has battled his way to a full count. Second straight Brookline batter to get a full count, and it's been another long at bat for the Warriors here with Bollinger. Oops. Bollinger lifts that one, curving out to right, back towards the wall. Right fielder going back and makes the catch. Wind caught that one and curved it a bit, but it ends with a long fly out. 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Brookline still with just one base hit and no other base runners so far this game against Michael-Chagnon, as up comes the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau. Couldn't time up his swing there, strike 1. Gameau grounded out to short to end the first inning his last time up. And couldn't stop himself from going around there, strike 2. The Brookline bats just absolutely befuddled by Michael-Chagnon today. Again, last year he got chased off the mound in the 3rd inning against the Warriors, but today he's been very impressive. Fastball misses, low and away, ball 1. Gameau skies this one into foul territory on the right field side. McAuliffe couldn't make the Willie Mays catch on that one, as Gameau stays alive at 1-2. The wind really seems to be carrying a lot of balls to the right field side. But also it might just be that Brookline finding themselves swinging behind a lot of Chagnon's pitches. Gameau times up that breaking ball just enough to get a foul ball and stay alive at 1-2. That one high for ball 2. We're seeing another lengthy battle at the plate from a Brookline hitter this inning. But so far, these lengthy battles haven't resulted in anyone getting on base yet. And that one hit foul up the 3rd base side. Gameau still alive at 2-2. Oh, but he chases that one to the high inside corner. Strike 3. We're at the end of 4 now. Our score, the Framingham Flyers 3, the Brookline Warriors 1. Brookline having a lot of trouble against Michael-Chagnon so far today. 1 base hit, 0 free passes, and 7 strikeouts for the Brookline bats. Meanwhile, the 2, 3, 4 hitters, DeRosa, Walsh, and Maud, due up for Framingham here in the top of the 5th. Game's still in reach for Brookline, but they're running out of time if they want to solve Chagnon's pitches and get some offense going. Leading off for Framingham, the right fielder, number 15, Nick DeRosa, is a wild, wild pitch from Lawrence. Starts us off here in the 5th. DeRosa, so far today, 0 for 1 with a ground out to first and a sacrifice bunt. As that one also misses for ball 2. You know, it's wild. It's been kind of an up and down day control-wise for Lawrence, but overall, I mean, 3 runs allowed is a solid outing for a starter at this level as he gets the foul tip strike there. Problem is that Chagnon has been dominant on the hill for Framingham. This one a chopper to second, fielded by Carbio, throw to first. Gets out number 1. Now batting, the catcher, number 21, Colin Walsh. Walsh, so far today, 0 for 1 with a fly out to center and a walk. That one misses to the outside, ball 1. That one also missing way outside, ball 2. I know the ump's been a little generous with some of the outside calls today, but it's not that generous. And that one skips in the turf. Ball 3. Hitters count to Walsh at 3-0. And it's a 4-pitch walk as Walsh strolls down to first for the second time today. Courtesy runner Gonzalez coming out to run in his spot. He stole second his last time on the base paths, but was left stranded. Now batting the shortstop, number 6, Jack Maud. That one catches the low inside corner for strike 1. Maud, so far today, he has singled, scored a run, and I believe drawn a walk, but was left stranded at second his last time on the bases. 1-1 now the count. That one skips in the turf. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. 1 out, runner at first. Runners going. Picked up well by Hom. Throw down to second. Well in time, and Carbio holds on. Felix Hom catches the runner stealing for the second out. You know, usually when you got a low pitch, that's a good pitch to go on because it's a longer way for the catcher to hop up. But as Jack Maud takes ball 4 and gets a stroll down to first, looking back at that steal attempt, because it bounced up so quickly off the bouncy turf, it allowed Hom to make a quick transition into the throw, and he had a great break on that throw to beat Gonzalez to second. McAuliffe lifts one into right, drops in for a hit, and Hoffman lost track of it as advancing to second on the error is McAuliffe. Maud down to third. So for those of you scoring at home, score that as a single for Ryan McAuliffe and advancing to second on an E9. 2 down, runners at second and third. Up comes the third baseman, number 26, John Coutinho, as that one flies foul for strike 1. Coutinho, so far today, he has lined out to second and flown out to right. 0 for 2 so far. Breaking ball is lifted foul along that right field side again. Breaking ball does not hit the zone that time. Ball 1. That one misses high and away. Ball 2. And that one misses high. Lawrence missing some consecutive pitches. It goes from an 0-2 count to a 3-2 count. Timeout called. Gets him with the breaking ball there. Strike 3. It hasn't been a pretty outing for Lawrence, but it's been a gutsy one. As once again, he keeps Framingham just barely off the scoreboard in that inning. We move to the bottom of the 5. Brookline still within reach, trailing by just 2. But again, they got to find something at the plate to get things moving. It'll be Hoffman, Tandon, and Kaufman due up for the Warriors in the bottom of the 5th. Michael Chagnon back on the mound for Framingham for the bottom of the 5th inning. Having completed 4 innings of work as the starter, he is already eligible for the pitching win for Framingham if the Flyers hold on to this lead for the rest of the game. Lawrence, of course, would be the pitcher on credit for the loss if the team cannot come back. Leading off for Brookline in the bottom of the 5th inning, the right fielder, number 3, Eli Hoffman. And he sends one right up the middle. One pitch, and Brookline has their first base hit and first base runner since the 1st inning. Now, can Brookline ride this momentum? Now batting the 3rd baseman, number 6, Armand Tandon. Tandon grounded out to 2nd his last time up. Shows bunt and fouls it off. Brookline trying to get their leadoff runner into scoring position. But Chagnon not giving Tandon a Good pitch to do it with. Now he lays it down, and Walsh picks it up, throw to first, just barely snagged to get Tandon out at first, but he does his job with the sac bunt and moves Hoffman up to second. Very smart sending that up the first base side where the first baseman couldn't come in to cover it, but didn't get enough distance on that one to keep it away from the pitcher and catcher. Now batting the left fielder, senior number 8, Max Kaufman. First pitch catches the outside corner, strike one. Kaufman went down on strikes his last time up. He's certainly hoping to get bat on ball here to move Hoffman along the bases. Couldn't stop himself from going around on that one. Strike two. Brookline's lefty bats struggling quite a bit against the lefty pitcher, Michael Chagnon. Thus far in this one, aside from the first inning infield single from Connor Fitzgerald. That one gonna miss to the outside, ball one. One and two, the count, one out, runner at second. That one also curves the outside ball too. And boy, if even a pitch like that really shows you just how hard it is to judge Chagnon's pitches. When he hit the outside corner with a breaking ball, that one started out looking similar to that pitch there, but then one just flies way outside. That one skips in the turf. Hoffman thought about advancing, but it was well blocked by Walsh. Hoffman retreats back, and we got a full count to Kaufman. Payoff pitch. High ball four. The first free pass of the game for Brookline, drawn by the senior Max Kaufman. He's been one of the better walk drawers for Brookline this season with 8 total walks, now 9 with that one this season. Now batting the pitcher, senior captain number 24, Wally Lawrence. And he lifts that one foul up the right field side for strike one. Lawrence went down on strikes to lead off the bottom of the third. Now with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth, he's hoping to help out his own cause here. That one skips in the turf for ball one. Some action going in the Framingham bullpen. So they're trying to hold on to a relatively small lead right now, 3-1. That one catches the outside corner for strike two. 1 and 2, the count to Lawrence. Bottom of Brookline's order, trying to get something going. Makes contact, but fouls it off. Right field side again. Feels like that's where all of Brookline's foul balls have been going this game. Still 1 and 2. Oh, got fooled on the breaking ball there. Strike 3. Lawrence caught looking. Now batting the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carbio. Carbio went down on strikes his last time up. Now he's hoping he can make some noise here with 2 on and 2 out. First pitch misses high and away, ball 1. And that's a wild pitch, and both runners are going to advance. Took a weird ricochet off the top of the front row of the bleachers there. Hoffman to third. Kaufman to second. 2 in scoring position here with 2 outs. A hit to the outfield could tie this game. Can the freshman and number 9 hitter come through clutch for Brookline here? Tips that one in the glove, strike 1. Ooh, did he check his swing? He checked it. And they check with the infield ump, and he confirms he didn't swing. 3-1, a hitter's count now to Carbio. If he draws one more ball, he could load the bases for the top of Brookline's batting order. Could be a big opportunity for the Warriors, but certainly Carbio would prefer to drive in some runs if he gets the chance. Fouls that one off. Guess where? Right field side. Strike 2. Full count, 2 outs. Potential tying runs in scoring position for Brookline here in the bottom of the 5th. The freshman, Danny Carbio, trying to come through in the clutch here. Makes contact, but that looks like it's going to be within range. Or is it? It might drop. It drops! It drops! Danny Carbio has tied the game! A clutch 2-out, 2-run single. And on senior day for Brookline, it is the freshman coming through with the biggest play of the game so far. What a rally from the back half of the order for Brookline as the number 9 hitter comes through with a 2-run single. Might be the end of the day for Chagnon as Brookline gets ready for just their 3rd turn through the order. But man, what a clutch piece of hitting from Danny Carbio. Certainly aided with how vast the outfield is here in Parsons. A lot of range for the outfielders to cover, and I don't know if that fly ball caught a headwind or something. I thought it was going to fly farther than it did, and I thought it was going to be easily within range for the center fielder, Zach Deptula. But then all of a sudden I saw him running faster and faster to go after it, and I saw the infielders going back for it, and I was like, wait a minute, this might drop. And then it did. Now batting for Brookline, the center fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. They're sticking with Chagnon as he hits the zone with the breaking ball, strike 1. Fitzgerald 1 for 2 so far today with an infield single, a stolen base, a run scored, and a ground out to second. A pickoff throw, and they fooled Carbio. He's just trying to run to second, trying to dodge. He can't. A successful pickoff, and that's going to be a teachable moment for the freshman there. But he definitely has plenty of reasons to hold his head up high after a clutch 2-out, 2-run single to tie this ball game up at 3 apiece. And after 5 innings of work, Wally Lawrence is coming back out onto the hill for Brookline to try and preserve this hard-earned tie. Due up for Framingham will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters Chagnon, Jessman, and Diptula. Once again, thank you to our local sponsor, Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. You can find out more about the works of BHS Senior Baseball parent Paul Hom and his team at brklnproven.com or at 617-352-8829. First pitch to Chagnon, going to miss low for ball 1. Chagnon, so far today, I've got him at 1 for 2 with a double, an RBI, a run scored, and reaching on an E3. Two and 0 the count here after Lawrence misses the first 2 throws. That one catches the outside corner, strike 1. That one skips in the turf. Ball 3. Ooh, lost control. The breaking ball there. Missed way outside, and it's a leadoff walk for Chagnon. Michael Chagnon has now reached base safely all 3 of his plate appearances. And short leash there. This is going to be the end of the day for Wally Lawrence. So Lawrence with 5+ innings of work, 3 runs allowed. I believe all of them earned, but a solid performance from the senior co-captain on senior day as he heads back out to the outfield, where he'll likely take his spot in center field, and either Fitzgerald or Kaufman will get moved out to right field, as coming in from right to take over on the mound for Lawrence will be number 3, Eli Hoffman. Hoffman, he has made 7 previous pitching appearances for Brookline. 4 of them starts, 3 of them in relief. He's got an 0-3 win-loss record, 1 save, 20 innings pitched across those previous 7 outings, a 5.25 ERA, a 2.35 whip, and 22 strikeouts. Funnily enough, this is his second pitching outing this week, but he only faced one batter on Monday as he pitched just a third of an inning in the win against Newton North, finishing up the job after Harris Hodgson pitched the first 6 2/3. Hoffman got a quick 3-pitch strikeout to end that game against the Tigers. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off here now against the Flyers. Now batting for Framingham, the left fielder, number 20, Charlie Jessman. Runner at first, nobody out. That pitch going to miss the outside, ball 1. So one thing you got to watch out for with high school relievers is how quickly can they get control of their stuff after coming in, especially if they're coming in with guys already on base. That one's a grounder headed towards the gap, and it cannot be fielded by Carbio. And that will be a single through the gap for Jessman. Second hit of the day for the Framingham left fielder. And now 2 on with the potential go-ahead run in scoring position and nobody out. Up comes the center fielder, number 10, Zach Deptula. Hoffman turns around, check on the runners and keep them honest, but no throw. Brookline clearly expecting bunt here with Gameau pulled way in from the first base spot. Deptula whiffs on the bunt attempt. We got a pickoff down at second. Oh my gosh, they got him! What a huge play from Felix Hom. His second runner thrown out today on Senior Day. So we go from no outs, runners at first and second, to now 1 out, runner at first. That one misses low and in, ball 1. This one fouled for strike 2. Deptula, so far today, he has popped out to second and grounded out to second, and he tips that one as well to stay alive at 1 and 2. Felix Hom has now thrown out 2 runners at second base today. A big day behind the plate for him. Breaking ball, perfect from Hoffman. Strike 3. Two down, 1 on, and we cycle around to the top of the order with the second baseman, number 1, James Winders. Hoffman, a pickoff throw to first. Jessman dives back safe. That one in the zone for strike 1. Winders, so far today, he has grounded out to short. He has walked and scored a run, and he's grounded out to the pitcher as that one misses to the outside, ball 1. So 0 for 2 with a walk and a run for Winders so far today. As he skies one into right center, might be in the gap, but it looks like it's going to curve within range for the new right fielder, Connor Fitzgerald. And Hoffman takes care of business in relief and preserves the tie. So it will go down as a no decision for Wally Lawrence. Still only 1 pitching decision for him through 7 outings this regular season. And it will be the top of Brookline's order. Fitzgerald, Hom, and Bollinger due up. Framingham sticking with Chagnon in the bottom of the 6th. We'll see if with the tie score, if Framingham and Coach Milano have a similarly tight leash on Chagnon that Brookline and Coach O'Connor had for Lawrence in the top half of the inning. Leading off, the right fielder, number 9, Connor Fitzgerald. First pitch hits the zone, strike 1. Fitzgerald 1 for 2 so far today with an infield single, a run scored, and a ground out to second. He was at the plate at the end of last inning, but the runner got picked off, and so he returns to the plate to finish this plate appearance as that one misses low and away for ball 1. The top of the order has seen a lot of Chagnon today, both in terms of plate appearances and pitch count, to be sure, as that one misses outside ball 2. Brookline would certainly love to get Fitzgerald and his speed back on the base paths, whether with a hit or a walk, as that one misses outside for ball 3. Timeout called. Swing and a good contact through the gap into left. A leadoff single for Connor Fitzgerald. Second hit of the day for Fitzgerald. And Brookline has the potential go-ahead run on the bases to start the inning. And like I said, you wondered if Coach Milano would have a similarly tight leash on Chagnon. And that is going to be the case. This will be the end of the day for Michael Chagnon. He was simply dominant on the mound through the first 4 innings, just 1 hit and no walks allowed. But then a rough 5th inning, giving up 2 hits and a walk, surrendered the lead. And he will be departing this game with the other Chagnon, number 11, Brian Chagnon, taking over on the hill. So it's an all Chagnon pitching rotation for Framingham so far today. Chagnon was one of the 4 pitchers that appeared for Framingham in that April game against Brookline. He pitched 1 2/3 innings, gave up the game-tying run in the 6th or 7th that forced it into extras, but that was the only run he gave up on 3 hits and 1 walk with 2 strikeouts. And we saw both starting pitchers get pulled at the start of this 6th inning, both of them giving up a leadoff base runner. We saw Eli Hoffman manage to get out of the inning without surrendering the go-ahead score, thanks in large part to the big pickoff throw from Felix Hom at second base from behind home plate. And speak of the devil, now batting for Brookline, the catcher and senior co-captain, number 13, Felix Hom. Hom 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts so far today, facing a different pitcher this time. Chagnon going for a quick pickoff throw. That was very close. Fitzgerald just barely got back safely. I know Fitzgerald is fast and he wants to be aggressive on the base paths, but you got to be careful. Hom showing bunt, pulls back for a high ball 1. Colin Walsh looked to first to see if there was a chance for a pickoff throw, ultimately decided against it. Hom showing bunt, runners going, a high ball, and Fitzgerald showing off the speed once again with his second steal of the day. And with a 2-0 hitters count, Hom is most likely going to be given the green light to swing away here. Go-ahead run in scoring position. Inside ball 3. Hom on the cusp of a walk here. And it's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Hom. 2 runners on. We'll see who gets courtesy runner duties for the catcher, Felix Hom. And it's number 27. It is Felix Hom's younger brother, Axel Hom, making his varsity debut as a courtesy runner for his older brother. Now coming up with 2 on and nobody out, the shortstop, number 2, Hugh Bollinger. Shows bunt, lays it down. Bollinger taken off up for the first base side. Nobody's covering. Hugh Bollinger with the bunt single to load the bases. The speed of Hugh Bollinger combined with Framingham being caught kind of flat-footed on the bunt attempt there. I mean, I can hardly blame them. I wasn't expecting Bollinger to bunt. How often do you have your best hitter go for a sacrifice bunt? But not only does Bollinger lay down the bunt, he gets the bunt single. Bases juice, nobody out. At the plate, the first baseman, number 4, Thaddeus Gameau, as he catches air for strike 1. The potential go-ahead run for Brookline just 90 feet away. Gameau 0 for 2 so far today, and he hits one through the gap, and Brookline takes the lead. Fitzgerald in to score for the second time today, and Thaddeus Gameau with the go-ahead RBI single. So that run will be credited to Michael Chagnon, as it was him that Fitzgerald singled off to get on base. And now Eli Hoffman lifts one towards the gap in right center. At least one run's gonna come in. Hom trots home. Bollinger wheeling around to the plate. 2 runs in off a big RBI single from Eli Hoffman. The Brookline offense breaking things open these last 2 innings. The Warriors looked helpless at the plate through the first 4, but now 5 runs in over the last couple of innings, and this inning is still going. First pitch, and Armand Tandon being given the green light to swing. He fouls it off for strike 1. Armand Tandon, the third baseman, almost got hit with the pitch. Give him credit. He did not move in the face of almost being hit by that pitch and just let it come around his head for ball 1. Tandon 0 for 1 so far today with a ground out to second and a sacrifice bunt. That one misses, ball 2. Runners at first and second. Gameau at second, Hoffman at first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Tandon lifts one into center field, and that's going to drop in. Gameau playing it cautiously. He is going to stop at third, just making sure it wasn't a flyout for a double play. But Armand Tandon getting in on the fun with his second hit of the season as that reloads the bases for the left fielder and senior number 8, Max Kaufman. That one does catch the outside corner. Strong frame job from Walsh to get strike 1. Kaufman drew a walk last inning and ended up scoring the tying run for Brookline on that 2-run single by Carbio, as that one misses high and away for ball 1. Kaufman 0 for 1 with a strikeout, a walk, and a run. Fastball taken all the way for strike 2. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Brookline up 3. That one just outside, ball 2. You can see Walsh trying to frame it again, but the ump wouldn't give him that one. 2-2 the count. And that is an outside ball 3. And now Max Kaufman, not only on the verge of his second free pass of the day, but he could get an RBI off this one if he draws one more ball. That one just barely catches the outside corner. Again, you got to be careful. Ump's been generous with that. Kaufman down on strikes for the first out of the inning. And we've got a pinch hitter batting in place of Wally Lawrence will be number 21, senior Finn Collins. Collins so far this season 0 for 1 at the plate with a walk and an RBI. Takes that one high and in for ball 1. Brookline with a 3-run lead, now trying to get some of their other seniors involved. That one hits the zone. Strike 1 off the fastball. If you're Finn Collins, don't be afraid to swing here. This is your senior day. This is your moment. If you see something, attack it. Oh, missed on the breaking ball there, strike 2. Right as I said it, I feel like I jinxed him. My bad. 1-2 the count. High ball 2. 2-2 the count to Collins. 1 out, bases loaded. Inside, ball 3. A full count here to Collins. Could the senior get his second bases loaded walk of the season here on senior day? Collins makes contact but fouls it right off his own face. Shakes that off as it might have just caught him in the helmet. The ump checking on him, making sure he's okay. It's an automatic foul ball if it hits the batter while he's still in the batter's box. Collins still alive at 3-2. Ooh, strike 3 there. Two down here in the bottom of the 6th now, as up comes the second baseman, number 30, Danny Carbio. That one does catch the outside corner, strike 1. Danny Carbio with the biggest hit of the day so far, that 2-run single last inning to tie us up. Excuse me. That pitch going to miss outside, ball 1. Carbio 1 for 2 so far today with a strikeout and that 2 RBI single. Swing and a miss, chasing the fastball upstairs, strike 2. Brookline has hit all the way from 1 to 9 in this bottom of the 6th inning. Can they keep it going? No, they can't. Carbio down on strikes, and that ends the inning. But Brookline generating a significant amount of noise and a significant number of runs, as through 6, Brookline 6, Framingham 3. During this break between the 6th and 7th inning, I remind you this broadcast is brought to you in part by Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Baseball senior parent Paul Hom and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. And once again, that information about Brookline Proven in the bottom middle of your screen and the description section of the video down below. Brookline sticking with Eli Hoffman on the mound. If Hoffman can get the last 3 outs and hold on to this 3-run lead, then he would pick up his first pitching win of the season. First pitch to Nick DeRosa, and it's skied into shallow left, and Hugh Bollinger tracks it for a quick 1-pitch out. Hoffman's got to be happy about that. 1 pitch, 1 out, and now just 2 outs away. But he is facing the heart of Framingham's order. Now up the catcher, number 21, Colin Walsh. First pitch skips in the turf, ball 1. Walsh so far today 0 for 1 with a flyout to center and 2 walks. That one catches the outside corner, strike 1. Breaking ball, fools Walsh there, strike 2. Slightly fooled Hom, too, as that ball briefly got away from him. Impressive movement from Hoffman on the pitch, not only curving it from inside to middle, but also dropping it off the table. Skies this one, staying in the infield. Hoffman himself tracking it, and he's got it. Out number 2. Brookline is 1 out away. After what a tough season it has been for Brookline, including 6 one-run losses, 3 on walk-offs, could Brookline finish this regular season on a 3-game win streak and go to the playoffs? First pitch in the zone, strike 1. At the plate, the shortstop, number 6, Jack Maud. Curveball does get into the outside corner, strike 2. Framingham down to their final strike here in the top of the 7th. And Maud gets jammed inside on the fastball there, stays alive at 0-2. Maud 1 for 1 so far today with a single and 2 walks. And hits a chopper over to third, fielded by Tandon. Long throw to first is complete. And Brookline gets the job done on senior day and finishes the 2026 regular season red hot with a 3-game win streak. The final score here at Parsons Field, the Brookline High Warriors 6, the Framingham High Flyers 3. Boy, and how about that for excitement? A comeback win on senior day for the Warriors. So many electric performances to point out, but I'm going to start from some of the clutch performances from the seniors today. Wally Lawrence, he may not get the win on the mound today, but 5 gutsy innings of work from him. At times, looked like his control was getting away from him, but he never lost heart and kept fighting. Even as he fell behind in the 2nd inning, he never let things get out of hand, held Framingham to just 3 runs, and comes away with a well-earned no decision there to help his team get the victory. And, of course, his battery mate, Felix Hom, not only helping to coordinate with Brookline's 2 pitchers today in Lawrence and Eli Hoffman, but also with 2 big throwdowns at second base from behind the plate today, stopping some potential offensive momentum for Framingham and helping to keep them at 3 runs. And, of course, he was a part of that 6th inning rally that broke the game open for Brookline as he drew a walk, and then his courtesy runner and younger brother Axel Hom got to make his varsity debut and score the run in place of his older brother. And then, of course, Max Kaufman, the 3rd starting senior for Brookline today. You know, didn't make too much noise, 0 for 2 with a walk, but a very big walk as part of that game-tying rally in the bottom of the 5th. The first batter to draw a walk for Brookline all game. It took him until the 5th inning to draw a free pass, and Max Kaufman, with his patience at the plate, paid off in a big way there as he would end up scoring Brookline's tying run. As I now move to the most clutch play of the day, coming from Danny Carbio, the most clutch day on senior day coming from the freshman, and the number 9 hitter coming through with a big 2-out, 2-run single in the bottom of the 5th on a single to shallow center that drove in Eli Hoffman and Max Kaufman to tie it up at 3. Huge shout out to him for that. And speaking of Eli Hoffman, how about the day that he had 2 base hits, a run scored, and 2 RBI, as he not only got Brookline's first base hit since the first inning to lead off the bottom of the 5th and kickstart that game-tying rally, but he also scored one of the 2 runs that would tie up the game. And then in the bottom of the 6th, coming up with the bases juiced, hits a single to right center that drives in 2 runs for some big insurance runs for Brookline and what would turn out to be the game's final runs. And then as the cherry on top, comes in as a reliever in the top of the 6th, taking over for Wally Lawrence, and pitches 2 shutout innings of work out of the bullpen to pick up his first pitching win of this 2026 season. And then, of course, plenty of other big performances. Connor Fitzgerald with 2 singles and 2 steals and 2 runs scored. He was lethal on the base paths today. He scored Brookline's first run and scored the go-ahead run, being driven in on a single through the gap by Thaddeus Gameau, who gets the credit for driving in Brookline's go-ahead score. Hugh Bollinger with a big day on both sides today, as he got the sac fly to drive in Fitzgerald for Brookline's first run. Got a bunt single in the bottom of the 6th as a part of that big rally, and scored Brookline's last run of the game to make it 6-3. And then had a couple of big plays on defense, robbed James Winders of a potential infield single with a diving snag at short in the first inning. And then I think he was the one who caught that pickoff at second by Felix Hom, as he saw the bunt attempt had been whiffed on and immediately jumped towards second to catch the pickoff throw from Hom to get the lead runner out. That was a big play from both ends, both throw and tag. Just a lot of big plays up and down the board from Brookline as they come away with the win, and they will finish the 2026 regular season with a record of 7-13, ending on a 3-game win streak, and winning those 3 games by a combined margin of 8 runs, which is very important. The margin very important for the power rankings going into the playoff structure. Brookline, having been ranked 30th and finishing the season on a 3-run victory, odds are they're going to the playoffs. Nothing is certain until the bracket gets released, but I think we are going to see a 3rd consecutive playoff appearance for the Brookline Warriors this year. Framingham falls to 6-11. They suffer their 4th consecutive loss, and that might just push them out of the playoff picture for good on what started as a pretty promising season for them, but then the wheels just kind of came off down the stretch. Well, that's going to do it for this one. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you one last time to our local sponsor for today, Brookline Proven, your local source for home improvement contractors. BHS Baseball's senior parent, Paul Hom, and his team can do anything from remodels to handyman honey-do lists. They live in Brookline, they work in Brookline, and they know just what a Brookline home needs. Visit brklnproven.com or text Paul at 617-352-8829 to find out more and discuss the scheduling, pricing, and specifics of the services your home needs. Once again, that's brklnproven.com or text 617-352-8829. And thank you again to Brookline Proven for sponsoring this broadcast. Brookline Proven's information down in the bottom center of your screen, as well as in the description section of this video down below. Also in the description section of this video, you can find the link and phone number for our local charity Spotlight, the Brookline Community Foundation. You can also find some links related to me, my personal website, jessesports.com, my email as well if you just want to contact me directly with any questions, requests, or comments you may have, my social media accounts on Instagram and Facebook, I'll be posting highlights from this game either sometime tonight or tomorrow with highlights from this game both on this YouTube channel as well as on Instagram and Facebook. But that's going to do it. Brookline 6, Framingham 3 from Parsons Field in Brookline, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.